Hey, what's up, guys? How are y'all? Welcome back to the OS Rick Project, a little podcast I've been working on for, I want to say 2 months now. And something I just do on the weekends and just talk about what's going on, video games that I've been playing, things that I'm just thinking about, and just share it with you guys. And I hope you enjoy and just have a good time. And if you agree with me, cool. I appreciate it. If you don't, if you disagree, man, that's also cool. I have no problems with that. But of course, if you ever want to just talk about it, man, hit me up on the social, guys. All that, you can find in the description below. But yeah, man, you guys ever just want to have a conversation and you see things differently than I do? For sure, hit me up, man, because we all see things different in a different way. We all experience everything in a different way, whether it's video games, movies, different sorts of media, life in general. So yeah, man, like I said, just have a conversation, man, and think about it. And not just with me, but with anybody, just because you don't see eye to eye with someone, that doesn't mean you should just completely just shut them off. Just talk about it, work it out, be civil, have discourse. But anyways, guys, besides that, I want to talk about Evo, which just happened this weekend. And I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I am a big fan of fighting games. I've been into fighting games, and if you've listened to the podcast before, I've talked about it in previous episodes. But fighting games is just one of my favorite genres. I enjoy it so much. It's something about fighting games where you're playing another person. You have these two characters that not only do you have to learn your character, you have to learn your opponent's character, and you also have to learn your opponent, all within one round, while having to execute all your moves, and then having decisions come down just fractions of a second, especially after you get knocked down in the corner. What are you gonna do? You're gonna wake up jab, wake up DP, back recover, slow recover. You have to think about it all in the frame. And then on the other side of that is, what do you do when you knock your opponent down and you have them in the corner? Are they going to quick rise? Are they going to jump? Are they going to get back? Are they going to suspect what your next move is? Whether you've been conditioning them with tick throws or command grabs and stuff like that. And when it comes to fighting games, I know a lot of people don't play them because I've heard every excuse, whether I'm just not good, it's not my style, it's too hard, keep getting beat up, I can't focus, I can't execute the combos. Like, man, I understand fighting games are hard and it's not for everybody, but when you stick with it and you learn and you learn how to execute and do something, and your character just does, when you're able to just have a game plan and you execute it and just all within that a lot of time that you're given, like, man, it just feels so good. And there's a sense of winning and losing that just happens in a game. That's what a game is, right? There's winners and there's losers, and you don't get that. You don't get that with a lot of games now. You get that with some, of course, but it's been relieved with just instant queue up, you're right back in. You guys have heard me say this about about other genres, like especially like the battle royale genre, where you die, all right, you're right back in. Okay, you got close to the very end, cool, not too bad, get in. I mean, and look, some people find thrill in that. I personally do not care, but to each their own, right? But I want to talk about Evo, guys. It happened this weekend. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. It was great to see it return as an offline event. I had some friends go out there, some as participants, some as vendors, some as behind the scenes working stuff, volunteering. And man, don't get me wrong, seeing all the hype and excitement and the buzz, especially on social media, seeing it on Twitch and watching the matches, it got me excited. I kind of want to go next year. I'm glad this whole COVID-19 it's done. Some people still lingering onto it. It's fine if that's your mindset, but in all honestly, it's time to just get back to normal. Return to the offline events. And watching Evo this weekend was great. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I was reserved. I had my reservations about it because back in February, I remember hearing about how Pokimane was now associated, and she like it was Evo was purchased by Sony, and Pokimane was in there, and she was gonna be like a creative lead. And I kind of had my doubts, but I'm glad to say that they were all squashed because watching Evo, it was just great. I mean, I thought they were gonna have some of these cringy like. I thought she was gonna have like these little cringy ads for her stuff and put that in there and trying to shill and sell out, but I didn't see any of that. Okay, I mean, I saw stuff that was related to the genre, controllers, headgear, chairs, equipment, advertisement for other fighting games and stuff. Which to me, okay, if it's all part of the system, I'm all for it. So I'm really glad that knowing that Pokimane was in it. It wasn't like it was just good, and I'm glad I was proven wrong because I really did think it was gonna be something where it was just gonna be like I don't know what it was gonna be, to tell you the truth. And then also knowing that Rick the Hado Thayer was gonna be in there, running the production side of it. I think that's what he was doing. He's been TOing forever. He does Combo Breaker up there in Chicago every Memorial Day week. Well, they're usually Memorial Day weekends. So knowing that, I mean, it was like, again, it was awesome. I enjoyed it. I had such a blast, dude. Were you guys able to watch any of it? I hope y'all did, because there was so many things about it, so many announcements, so many. Oh my god, I have so much to talk about. Let me see. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to go over, making sure I'm on the right page. Okay. Because I took some notes, and and they, I'm kind of bad with my notes. I just kind of keep going, and they start they start bleeding over to other subjects and stuff in other podcast episodes. So just bear with me, guys. So. This episode, it's going to be Evo centric. It happened over the weekend, and it's Monday, the 8th of August. So I'm doing a special show. So this show is going to come out Tuesday. And don't worry, guys, I still have the regular planned episode coming out on Thursday as per usual. And then last week was a little bit of delay. I wasn't too good at managing my time with the length of my podcast, because I have around 6 hours per month. And I burned it up really quick with my boy Viet and my boy Jackal. So I'm going to work on that so I can keep it on a nice steady schedule every Thursday. So like I said, minus the one that came out Sunday, and minus this bonus one, which I'll throw in there every once in a while if I find something that I just have to talk about. And of course, me going on vacation next week, I'll have some more material to work on and just have some episodes stockpiled and ready to roll out. So that way I won't be delayed. Everything be nice and smooth. And just bear with me, guys. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you so much. So let's just start off with some Evo announcements, guys. I'm pretty sure y'all saw it. And if you guys are into the whole Evo tournament scene, you've probably seen these already. But I just want to talk about these and give you my perspective, my thoughts, my point of views. And again, guys, if there's something that I might have missed or overlooked, or you just have a difference of opinion on something, chime in, please. I mean, let me know what y'all think, because I don't play every fighting game, but the ones that I do play, I do enjoy very much. And I try to keep my fingers on the pulse to see what's going on. So let me know what you guys think. So the first one I saw I want to talk about, it was from SNK. Samurai Showdown is getting rollback netcode in spring of 2023. Now, who saw that one coming? I didn't. I honestly thought, and I know this is going to be a subject I want to talk about soon, but I really thought this was a Discord game. I was gonna call it a dead game, but I'm trying to get away from that phrase because it's becoming a buzzword. So I'm trying to get away from that and just call it for what it is. And I want to thank my buddy Viet for telling me about this. It's a Discord game. So, and if you guys don't know what that means, is these fighting games sometimes a lot of times they'll start off really strong out the gate. They'll have some impressive, concurrent players right out the gate when the game first releases. But after 2-3 weeks, maybe a month after, the player base starts to decline, and then it just settles and where it's at. And it varies per fighting games, and actually it varies per every game. Actually, if you guys ever notice, there's a trend. Well, they'll come out hot, and then it'll slowly start to just cool down, and then it'll just keep its audience and stay trickle. And then every once in a while, with an announcement or a new update or a release comes to that game, you'll notice that the numbers will spike, and then slowly it'll come right back down. So I mean, that's true for not just fighting games, but just for almost any game, actually, if you think about it. Especially games now that are tagged with that phrase, which I hate to say, games as a service and live service games. Those games, I mean, that's when you really notice it. But again, I digress. This is just fighting games. It happens to all of them. So Sam Show, I really thought it was a Discord game. And a Discord game, guys, is pretty much when a fighting game, or it could be any game, I guess, but especially a fighting game has low numbers, and you can't really find, if you try to queue for an online match, the queue times, the wait times might take an absorbent amount of waiting for you to finally get a match. So, with these Discord games, they'll have their communities where you'll go to a Samurai Showdown Discord, and you could just go there and get into a lobby that's already going on, and you could meet other peoples from that fighting game community, and you guys could just, start there. So that's what I really thought Sam Show was reduced to. And that's not to be disparaging of it. It's just that it never, especially when a game that just came out right before the pandemic. It came out, I want to say maybe the summer before the pandemic, or the spring. I forgot when exactly it came out, but it was released around then. Excuse me, guys. It was released right around then, and not having a robust online system wasn't necessary back then before the pandemic. So, but the game came and went, and then of course after having to play online, that game just fell by the wayside. And I knew it was there, and I know they had some events for it. And one of the last pieces of news that I remember that they had for that game was they released a character pass. I know one of the characters from Honor was on there, and I forgot who else. I think Baiken was on there. I think that's one of the last news I remember. They made a crossover with Guilty Gear, and Baiken was in that game. If I recall correctly, I could be wrong. But since then, it was just flatline. I didn't hear anything else. I didn't hear any tournaments. I would watch NLBC or just other random online locals tournaments that were going on, and I never would see Sam Show. But I mean, that's just the fact. That's what it is, guys. Whatever player base it had, it was just left to that little Discord community. But it getting rollback netcode, and of course, not till we still got a while, spring of 2023 before it comes out. But if it brings more players into that game, I'm all for it. I'm all for it for fighting games. Just get people back in there. Help that community get back. Help that game and its community just get up and running again for sure. They also talked about, still with the SNK news, they talked about King of Fighters 15 getting crossplay, and after their top 8, which was on Sunday, I watched a little bit of it. After their top 8 on Sunday, the developers came out there and they said that a new Fatal Fury / Guru game, Mark of I think it's Mark of Wolves, Guru. They're going to be working. They got greenlit to have another game in, which is again surprising to me because I remember talking to my buddy Trip, and SNK, they'll release a game, and then it does poorly, and then they release another game, and it'll do okay, and then it goes poorly, and then I don't know, there's a vicious cycle when it comes to SNK games. They have their dedicated fan base, and then it just kind of like it just comes and goes. And 15 apparently seems to be breaking the mode. It seems to be doing really, really well, and I think it's because they implemented the right out the gate the whole rollback system. I know there were some problems after launch with some matchmaking. Some people weren't happy with that, but me, for the most part, I was playing with just my buddies Trip and my buddies Viet. So I had blast enjoying that. What turned me off after was there was an update, and then the lobbies would just keep crashing randomly, and it really just turned me off from wanting to play the game because I really enjoyed it. I was having a blast. I was learning it with everybody because it came out in February, I believe, of 2022. So I was able to pick it up and learn with my friends, and I think that's the best time to pick up a fighting game is when the community is just forming around it and everybody's learning at the same time, and everybody's just trying out new characters and see what works and what positions to put them in, whether it's at point or on anchor or in mid or everything like that. It really is a fun time to get in there because, and I don't know if you guys have heard me say this before, but again, fighting games are difficult, and it makes it even more difficult too, where if you don't have many people to play with and you just throwing yourself into the online scene, into the deep end, you're probably just going to get whooped. You know, if you're at least playing with some friends that know the game, you're still going to probably get bodied and whooped, but at least you'll have someone there to tell you, hey, this character's plus on this, so don't block, don't attack after that, or watch out for this, or this is actually a low attack, or actually there's an overhead, or work on your jump, just stuff like that. When you can get feedback when you're playing with people, it's 100 times better than just going in the deep end and playing online, because you're not going to get any feedback at all. I mean, maybe every once in a while, if you're playing an online match, someone might show up and message you and be like, GG's, good game, and then maybe you could get something rolling, but that doesn't happen too often. So especially when a game is already established, it just makes it that much more difficult to get into it. So that's what my experience with King of Fighters 15. That was like the first one I actually ever really sat down and played, and my only exposure to SNK characters and games was Capcom versus SNK 2, Mark of the Millennium, back in 2002. That was actually my first game I had for the PlayStation 2. It was a fighting game, believe it or not, guys. So, and that was when I learned about the CAP grooves and the SNK grooves, and I was able to learn about these other characters, who they were, Rugal and Kim and Athena, Iori. What's the guy from Samurai Showdown? Horomaru. You guys are probably screaming at the screen right now, but yeah, that's where I was able to learn all these SNK characters, and of course they're from their different fighting games, from their Fatal Fury, the King of Fighters, Mark of Wolves, Samurai Showdown. So they just grabbed them from all that genre and just put them in there. So that was like the first time I ever got to learn what SNK characters are. But yeah, they're having crossplay better, which they're adding crossplay into King of Fighters 15, which is great, because you guys have heard me say this before, where not only do fighting games have to have a robust online rollback netcode, but they also got to have it where you want crossplay, because you don't want your the little island of just Xbox players stuck with just Xbox players, or the island of just PC players stuck with PC players, and same goes with PlayStation. If you could get all these groups to all play with each other, that's just it makes it better for everyone. It makes it better for the game. It makes it better for the players. It makes it better for the community, and it even makes it better for the developers, because it could get more feedback and just know what's going on and see maybe which consoles there's more. I'm sure they have the analytics and technologies to find out what's going on, but all around, in my opinion, I just think it's something that fighting games today need. And there's some other things that they need, but for sure it's the online netcode and crossplay, because if you can't queue up and play with other people, I mean, it's so easy to go and fall back and play another game where, like for example, your Apex Legends or your Fortnite, where the queue times are insane. I mean, not insane, but the queue times are ridiculously quick. You hop in there, you're waiting around. All right, next match starts in 30 seconds, and there you go. I mean, and it's just so easy, so you could lose your player base. So you want to make sure to, not only once, because if they're willing to play fighting games, whether novice or professional, you want them to keep playing and learn and learn and learn. And there's something about, especially someone who is learning, to get back in there and try again, even if they lose. That sucks, But you know what? Okay, next match, I'm gonna watch out for this. Hey, look, I'm winning. But you want that momentum to keep going. Just let the the ability to play matches just happen as quickly as possible. Just to let people get in the game. Because if they start waiting around 10, 15, half an hour, I mean, like, by then, like, they're just gonna move on, for sure. And of course, they said they're going to have Team Samurai coming out in fall 2022. I forgot the names of the characters. They're from Sam Showdown. It's, you guys got to look it up. And I feel bad not knowing. I should have wrote them down, but I don't know the names. You look them up. Y'all look them up, okay? But they're coming out, and I'm glad. SNK is doing this. I'm glad that they're bringing in these characters from their other fighting games, and not just like the traditional fighting games, but like Samurai Showdown. Like, it's like another, because it's a time period piece. It's set like in feudal Japan and stuff like that. So grabbing characters and like warping them into their game, I think that's super cool. I appreciate that. Now, if they ever could talk to Capcom and talk to the New Bloods over there running the Street Fighter team, and they could put Team Capcom on there, dude, how dope would that be? And I thought about it, right? It's like, look, you can have Team Capcom, right? It'll be Ryu, Chun-Li, Guile. Or just anybody from like the Street Fighter, from the OG Street Fighter 2. You get any three of those characters and you throw them in there. You probably have to put Ryu in there. He'll probably be the head team. And then whichever two you want. I don't know, Geef and to represent the grappler, and then Guile to represent your charge character. I don't know, whichever. But like, and I'm not saying that it's going to happen. This is me being a fanboy. But that would be so cool if they did that. They just like talk to Capcom. I mean, they've worked together before, right? So it's and if you guys ever look at the history of SNK, where they came from, do yourself a favor, educate yourselves and see what's going on. Most of y'all probably know this already, but if y'all don't, look it up, because some of the SNK guys, they go way back with Capcom, the Capcom team, and look it up. And of course, guys, when I took these notes, I just kind of, as I wrote them down as I went, as I saw them. So they might be a little askewed, a little out of order. So just bear with me. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. It's getting rollback netcode, and it's live now. And this game got some flack when it first it got announced, and people were excited for it. It's coming out, and then people asked, "Does it have netcode?" That's when Atlas said no. So people were like, "Yeah, we're not gonna buy that." And it's funny, someone, I think it was Jayuna or somebody, someone on Twitter posted it on Twitter, where they showed like the graph of the concurrent player base for Persona 4 Ultimax, and then shows a massive spike. He says, "Guess when they announced the Persona 4 rollback?" So the fact that they've gone and retroactively added rollback is a good sign, in my opinion. That's the community, the developers listening to community. Excuse me, guys. And giving the people what they want. Yeah, they probably should have done that from the get-go. But nevertheless, the fact that they did listen and eventually implemented it into their games is a big win. It really is. Because I know there's a lot of people that ask me about it. Like, Rick, are you going to play it? I'm not like, okay, I'll play it. If someone has a copy of it, I could play offline somewhere. But as for me purchasing it and going online, like, why? I don't want a crappy online experience when it comes to these games, especially if I'm trying to learn something. Why should I get frustrated at the fact that I can't play the game? I mean, it's like I said, it's a challenge to learn these fighting games. But then when you add the fact that you're going to just constantly get hit with the leg monster, it's like, no, man, no, I'm not gonna do that to myself or like anybody. And also, look, guys, if you're listening to this and you play fighting games, you probably know, hardline your stuff, hardline it. Don't none of this. Oh, I got great wife. No, that doesn't cut it. Get yourself a freaking Ethernet cable and hook it up. Get hardline, guys. Don't give me none of this. Oh, I'm gonna go on Wi-Fi. No. And I think that's my problem with Smash. That's why I never really played online, because up until recently, until they released the OLED Switch, the OG Switches, they had the docks. They had no ports for the Ethernet cables. So good luck trying to play online. Like, really, I mean, like I said, even if your internet was good, which is still not okay, much less whatever McDonald's Wi-Fi your opponent is using. So, and who knows how the matchmaking works, like in the region or stuff. So yeah, it does not make it good. So I want to talk about, let's shift gears, guys, to gears, you get that? Let's shift to Guilty Gear Strive. They announced their roadmap. They have it planned out till 2023. So in the summer, they're gonna add a new character. So if I think it's the character I think they're talking about for this summer, I believe they announced it last night at Evo. So I was watching Evo. We'll talk about Evo, guys. I just want to talk about the announcements first. So when it came to watching Evo, for sure, you guys know your boy Rick watched all top 8 of Street Fighter 5. I did. But by the time that finished, it was like, I want to say almost 11:30 Central on a Sunday night, when on Monday I have to wake up super early. I was like, okay, it happened. They had the ceremony. They had the Street Fighter 5 announcement. Evo, L.I. Joe, everybody there, Kawano, everybody who did a great job, Idom, everybody. Thank you very much for the show. I appreciate it, but Daddy went to sleep. I was out. And I think they had, and I'm pretty sure, because when I left off, they said they had more stuff to come. I believe Guilty Gear Top 8 happened. And if it did, wow, because it must have been super late. Because don't get me wrong, guys, as fast as that game is, going through top 8 in any fighting game, it takes a good time. It just really does. So I believe after top 8 for Guilty Gear, that's where they announced Brigitte. And that character came back. And I never played with Brigitte, so that's a new one for me. I don't think that character was in. I don't think that character was in Xrd. I don't think so. But that character's coming out, and the whole, he, she. I don't know what it is. It's a robot. I don't know what gender it is. To me, I don't care. It's Brigitte. Brigitte is Brigitte. So your boy Rick does not care what it is, okay? But that character's coming out. Cool. But they also talked about how on PS5 they want to reduce the input delay, which we'll put a pin in that, guys, and we'll come back to that later, because I really thought that PS5 would be really great for fighting games. Apparently it's apparently the PlayStation 4 Pro is still the go-to console for fighting games. And on Steam, they said it would reduce connection time to servers, which is great, because again, guys, I don't know how much truth there is to this, but someone on Twitter put logging into Multiverse and getting into a match, and side by side they had Guilty Gear logging into the game, connecting to servers, and getting to a match. And I swear, guys, by the time you even just log in into the game itself, like, when you boot up the game and you hit press start or press enter to start the game, by the time on at least on Steam, connecting to server, like Multiverses, you're already into a game by the time you're even halfway through the loading on Guilty Gear, which it's really is kind of a turn off. It's like, oh, like okay, I want to play Guilty Gear. Connecting server, connecting the servers, and like I know that's kind of like the price you have to pay to get immaculate. To okay, maybe immaculate is too strong of a word. To get really really good online experience, I know there's the price you have to pay, but man, so you like that. You have to get in there, guys. You gotta make your player base. When they're ready to play, you gotta have them ready to go, man. You can't just connecting a server, connecting the server, connecting the server, connecting the server. Like no. You gotta get that ready. In fall, they said they're gonna do some cross play beta testing. Great, because like I said before, the more the better. And let me see, and they're gonna have like beta testing for PS4, PS5, and Steam in mid-September, which is coming out along with the new character. And then in the winter, a battle balance update and 2023 characters and stages and stuff like that. So so the original, the typical roadmap stuff. Sorry guys, I got a pet cat, and sometimes he feels like he should be in the episode, and he likes to just claw out the door. So I almost got to look over and make sure he's just not messing up the audio. You guys know how it is, right? You have pets. Oh yeah. What else? So that's pretty much for Guilty Gear. I didn't watch any top 8, guys. I missed it. I don't know how good it was. Please let me know how it went. Guilty Gear, I could watch it. Like if it's just on, it's fine. But I can't stay. I can't stay out that late. Like maybe when I have some downtime, I'll put top 8. I'll go YouTube. I'll go to YouTube and I'll look at the top 8 and just fast forward through all the intros and stuff and the commercials. Dragon Ball Fighter Z is getting rollback. That's awesome. That game's been out for a while now, but the thing is, it's gonna get rollback for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S and Steam. So if you're playing on the last gen consoles, you're kind of screwed. So I don't know how you guys feel about that. At this point, I don't know if anybody's. I'm sure there's people that still play on the last gen consoles, but I feel like there's been a shift where a lot of more people now are hopping over to PC to play their fighting games. I could be wrong, but I feel like there's been like some sort of like an exodus from consoles going into PC. And I've heard a lot of people talk about how they made the switch, and they just especially when it comes to Street Fighter. People say they used to play on PlayStation, and then they went to now they're playing on Steam, and they are enjoying it just feels a lot more better. I've me personally, I can't go back to PlayStation 4, and I've had other of my close friends that play fighting games talk about it, and they say PC is the way to go. So yeah, it sucks that this is only the rollback is only coming to the current gen consoles and Steam, but I mean, you got to draw the line somewhere, right? It's unfortunate, but you got to draw the line somewhere. Excuse me. So yeah, that's pretty much for Dragon Ball. I think they even said too, like they don't plan on releasing any characters or doing any more balance updates or anything like that, which is weird because I know a lot of people are saying I've seen some tweets of some players saying that they're not happy with the game's at right now, and I can't really say where it is. I don't play the game, nor did I did play it before, but I don't play it now, and nor did I ever play it in any high level or anything. If I did, it was just with my friends here, just casually, just hitting buttons and trying to learn the game. But I don't know where that game is at right now, where the state of it is at. So we'll see. But for sure, getting rollback. Yeah, I think that's the buzz word of this weekend. Well, especially when it came to game announcements, a lot of them getting rollback. Some of them didn't, though. I don't think Grand Blue Fantasy Versus did. I could be wrong, but you guys look it up and let me know. But I don't think that one did, which is a shame because That one should get it. I personally did enjoy that game. I thought the art style was good. I thought the mechanics was good. You guys probably have heard me talk about it 100 times already, but that one is generally a fun game, good game, and if you're gonna learn on one, that's a good one to learn on. I do like that one a lot. Um, let's see. Do we want to talk about Street Fighter announcements? Yeah, we'll talk about the Street Fighter announcements while we're at it. But Street Fighter after top 8, and I'm gonna talk more about top 8 because I really enjoyed it. That was man. I'll talk about top 8, okay? But after the Street Fighter top 8, they had some of the announcements came out. I think it was Vicious and Aru, the commentators. That they're gonna be the voices of the commentary for the game. And I heard it, and I wasn't really impressed. I might turn it on just to like listen to it for a bit, but I wasn't really sold on it. I mean, I don't know. When I was playing Street Fighter 4, that announcer was super hype, and I liked it. It felt like it was a part of the game. But listening to the real life commentators being added into the game, it feels like they're like watching it on top 8 and Evo with the massive productions. That kind of commentary I don't mind. You know, when they kind of go like that esports route, I don't mind it because I'm there just to watch as a viewer. I don't know how I feel about it when I'm just going to play it myself. I don't know if it's going to be a distraction or not. Again, guys, I haven't played it. I don't know if it's going to turn me off listening to that all the time. So we'll see. Like I said, I'll experiment with it. If I like it, I'll leave it on. If not, you always have the option to turn it off, which is totally fine. So we'll see. But anyways, those guys came out and they said they have an announcement for Street Fighter 6. And sure enough, they introduced 2 new characters. Okay, they introduced 2 characters, one new, one returning. The first one was Kimberly. She looked like a little ninjutsu character. She looked super fast, jumping around. Her special, her CA, I still calling it critical arts. Her critical art looked like Maximum Spider, where she's just bouncing from wall to wall and just hitting you along the way. And she's using these spray cans for some of her special attacks, and she was like using jump in attacks and falling back. And I mean, honestly, like visually, Street Fighter 6 is shaping up to be a very colorful game. It really is with the that. You know, you guys remember playing Street Fighter 4? They had those ink splatters going around when you do the focus attacks and everything. They're kind of doing the same thing, but it looks like graffiti paint when it splashes. So it looks really cool. So they introduced Kimberly, and they did show her on the roster reveal leak list that came out a couple of months ago. I don't know if you guys seen it or not. I looked at it, but it being a leak, I took it with a grain of salt because I don't know who's going to be coming out. I doubt all those characters will be releasing with the base game. I'm pretty sure half or even more of those characters revealed will be as, you know, character passes. And who's to say, you know, they were just concept art or something? Who knows? But that character was on the list, and she did come out, and she looked pretty cool. Of course, new character. You got to try her out, right, before you make any decisions. So I'll see that. I'll check her out. And then we had Juri come out. Juri the Spider. Juri Han. And man, dude, she looked pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if they're using the same voice actress or not, but it sounded really good. And like she I don't know. Juri, every time I see her, it's like, man, this girl's off her meds and she's crazy and she's gonna break you. And that's Juri. So yeah, she's still her character, her demeanor is still just like that, and her moves and her combos. You see some of them. She still has her little pinwheel kick and her second impact, third strike air attacks. Different kicks. Her CA looked pretty cool, and her style, her outfit. I really did enjoy it. It wasn't super like, you know how like in Street Fighter 5 they kind of went kind of almost cringy with the frat boy, like dressing them up, over sexualizing them kind of. And this one, they're more toned down. I mean, yeah, they're good. I mean, they look great. Of course, you don't want ugly models, but they don't look like they're like dancers or something. You know, they actually look like this is what Juri would wear. You know, So I really like how that looked. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. Of course, that's kind of selfish of me being a fan of Street Fighter. I was kind of hoping, and I remember talking about this with my buddy Viet online, that we're kind of like, well, he brought it up, like they're gonna reveal a beta test date. Like, yeah, now that'll be big news for Evo. But they just announced two characters, which is fine. Take their time. Me personally, I thought they were gonna give us like a hard date when to be released, but then everybody reminded me, look, Rick, you can't give out hard dates because once you do that, if it gets pushed back, if they need more time, they just get. I mean, everybody just piles on top of them. And you're right. You're right. Me as a fanboy, I wanted a date, so something to look forward to. But in looking at it objectively, and the way I should be looking at it is no hard dates. Just when they're ready, because you don't want them getting re-rushed. You don't want to get them backlash and give them shit for something like that, because they have a whole team to look after and make sure everything's up and running, and everything has to come together to make the game ready and prepared for forever how long time it needs to get ready. So I wanted to see more, but we saw two characters, which is fine. We'll take it. It's more Street Fighter 6. So, and I'm slowly kind of like warming up. Like at first I was super excited, and then I kind of like, oh, this hyper realism look. I don't know how I feel about it. But then I see some more. I see like action gameplay, like actual gameplay of it, and then I get more excited again. So it's like, okay, we'll see. So I don't know, guys. Like I'm not saying I'm on the fence. Like I don't know. It depends on what day you ask me. Sometimes I get super hyped, and then sometimes I'm just like, well, we'll see. But for the most part, I'm hyped, guys. Y'all know me. I'm a fan of Street Fighter, so we're waiting. And for the Tekken side, I missed that one. So on Tekken side, they said they're gonna have a balance update. They're gonna have a Tekken World Tour going again. Awesome, which is great. I mean, that's how you know. To me, that's one of the signs when you know a company is looking after. Okay, well, yeah. That's when like you can see the developer or publisher is helping out their community by having like these worldwide tour events, because it gives them something to do. It gets talk of their game and people wanting to play it, and gets eyeballs on there, where you have people looking forward to events, and then finally to finals where people get together and the best from every region gets together and get to find out who's the best. So I'm glad that these companies are doing that, and with world tours, all of them, whether it's Arxis with their Revo Arc Tour. No. Revo Arxis Tour? You know what it is, guys. And then, of course, hold on, guys. The cat. Give me 1 second. Because if I don't stop, he's going to keep just crying. And then also with... So, with Tekken. You guys see him in the background? There he is. So, with Tekken continuing the world tour, that's great. That's good news. It'll continue to help out. But then at the very end, so like I said, I watched some of the Tekken top 8, but I missed grand finals. I think it was Knee versus, I forgot who. But I think after it was all said and done, it just showed Kazuya looking over saying, get ready. So get ready for Tekken 8. Get ready for Tekken Tag, the next one. Get ready for I don't know. So I'm guessing if I was a betting man, I would say get ready for Tekken 8, since Tekken 7 has been out for a good while. It was out in the arcade scene out in Asia, I want to say a couple of years before it came to the States. So maybe it's time to get ready for another Tekken another mainline Tekken. Of course, if they make it, I've heard a lot of good things about Tekken Tag. So if they take that route, I don't think that'll be a bad idea. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But again, hopefully. But the thing is, they didn't, like I mentioned about Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, they didn't talk about implementing rollback netcode, and I don't know what Harada and his whole team over there at Bandai Namco are what's their mindset when it comes to that. I don't know if they just don't care for it, don't want it. I've heard different rumors and reasons why people say that he's not doing it or what, but again, it's just that, it's just hearsay. So I don't know, guys. I really feel like that game should get it. As big as it is, Tekken is up there. It's one of those legacy fighting games. It's up there with Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Guilty Gear. So I don't know why they haven't done it already or why it's not in the works. And this would have been a perfect time to implement that or announce that. Sorry, guys, if you're hearing the pets. That's why I try to keep the door closed. Give me 1 second. So I don't know. Or maybe they're just saving all that work and technology and waiting till the next Tekken game, whether it's a tag or a mainline one, and they're going to just do all that, whether they'll have crossplay or whether they'll add crossplay or add rollback netcode. Maybe just they're saving it for the new game. Who knows? Hopefully we'll get more information on that soon. But yeah, I think it's time for a new Tekken, guys. I don't know how y'all feel about it. Again, I'm not the biggest Tekken fan. I do like playing it when, I did like playing it when my friends were around, and I thought about getting it for online, but again, I don't want to experience all that online mess, man. I really don't. Unless I knew for sure I could get a good online experience. Let's see, guys. Anything else on? Guys, I want to do a little unpopular opinion. It's about Evo, and guys, I don't know how I feel about this. You guys probably know where I stand, but I talked to my friends. Well, I talked to my one friend who went out there. One of my friends who went out there, and asked him about the event, about having to be, how is it with the whole masks and vaccination and stuff like that. And that my friend told me that at the door they want either a negative test, which had been taken within, I'm guessing, the last 48 hours of showing there, or a vaccination card. And at this point, it felt like if you're gonna do that at the door, okay, it's your event. Of course, again, guys, this is just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. This is their event. They could run it however they want, right? But the way I see it is, if at the door you gotta have a vaccination or a negative test to get in, why do you need all the mask everywhere? Like, even the commentators had the mask on. People on the stage had the mask on. Like, I'm not saying that you got to throw caution to the wind and not care, but at the same time, if you want to try to get things back to normal, how are you gonna do it if you keep doing stuff like this? It feels like it feels, again, it just feels like signaling. I think I just thought it was kind of okay, I get it, but that's it. I just want to throw that out there, guys. That's my unpopular opinion. At me if you want, we could talk about it, but at this point, it's like, look, if you want to take care of yourself, take care of yourself. Eat better, exercise, get 8 hours of sleep, stop smoking. That'll make you healthy. I mean, there's so many people I saw that were just like way out of shape and like had a mask on. I was like, that's not gonna save you, bro. That's not gonna save you. Okay, I just want to get that. I want to get that out of the system, guys. Okay, y'all know me. I'm thinking about making that another segment, unpopular opinion, where I just go on there and rant and shit on something for a little bit. But I want to keep that down to a minimum, okay? Because like I don't think that's good for me or for y'all. But I just want to throw it out there anyway, just so it could be known. That's just my quick thought on it. So I want to talk about. Let's shift to Street Fighter V top 8. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, I was happy. I was ecstatic. I was at the edge of my seat. I was popping off with all the players that were winning, especially IDOM. I had such a good time watching top 8. It was great. It was awesome. I mean, it started off with Kawano Kawano and Daigo, Gachikun Tokido, Oil King, Just a Kid, Mr. Crimson, and Idom. And you had 4 Japanese players coming in winner side. You had one Taiwanese character, Oil King player, sorry. You had 2 Americans, Just a Kid and Idom, and one Mr. Crimson X. Mr. Crimson, I believe he's French. I could be wrong. European. We could just say European if you want. But that's another thing. European versus NA. It's like it's a continent versus a country. All right, just think about it, okay? But anyways, watching all those matches and then seeing the characters they use. Gachikun used Rashid. Oil King used Rashid and Seth. So that was the only character you saw twice of, was Rashid. But then you saw Colleen, Guile, Urian, Luke. Tokido played Luke and Urian. Lara, Dalsim, Guile. Who else did we see on there? Seth, Colleen, Guile. But anyways, just looking at top 8, you saw 2 Rashids, but they weren't all played. They weren't. Oil King switched. Oil King did switch between Rashid and Seth. Like, you only saw Rashid, that's it. But everything else you saw, all these other characters, and I think that's awesome for the game. I really do feel Street Fighter V is at the spot. It's earned its spot that it's in. You guys have heard me talk about how on February 16, 2016, when that game launched, it is a night and day difference from where that game was to where it is now. I mean, now I can wholeheartedly say that this is a good game. This is where we want the game to be at. Do I have some problems with it? How Capcom ran it? Yeah, I do. And we could talk about that, but that's not for here. That's for another episode, or that's a previous episode I talked about already. But watching top 8 at Evo, an offline event in the I think it was the Michelob Center they had in the Michelob Arena, and you had James Chen and Ultra David doing commentary, and man, it was great, man. I missed it, especially after how last year they had these online events where they were kind of scattered within the weekends over a period of like 4 to 6 weeks or something like that. Like, you never knew when it was on or what time. I really just did not care. And Evo Online, like, I'm glad they attempted it, but it paled in comparison to an offline event. It really does. I mean, watching that again, like, I was supposed to be in bed, but I put on my phone, I put my headphones on, and I just watched in bed, and I was all like, yo, come on, get on, popping off and everything. Like, if you guys were to see, I mean, okay, MVP of top 8, hands down, had to be Idom. He was at losers in the bottom seed and worked his way up. He knocked out Crimson X. He knocked out Daigo. He knocked out who else did he knock out? Did he knock out Tokido too? Yeah, Daigo, Tokido. Like, I mean, he was on a tear, dude. On a tear. He was just ripping them boys like left and right. I was like, his Laura is scary, guys. Like, and don't get me wrong, I've seen his Laura before when he would be on NLBC on Next Level Battle Circuit over there on Spooky's channel. I mean, yeah, there's some times where he finished, on second place or something like that. But when he's in there, man, he's on a tear. And this whole argument of, oh, he won CPT back in 2019 or 18 online asterisk, he won LBC online asterisk. Like, no, whether it's online, offline, he won, man. You can't take that. And that's just not for him. That's for anybody, dude. I feel when people say, well, oh, he just won an online event. Like that's kind of like a backhanded compliment. No, he won. He won. I mean, of course, I can see the argument of people saying, "Well, at an offline event, there's the nerves, there's the crowd, there's the roar the roar of the cheers, the roar of the crowd going on, and being on stage. That mean, yeah, that has something to do with it too. But at the end of the day, he still has to that person, whether online or offline, they still have to play that match. They still have to play the game. So I mean, yeah, there's some elements to it, but I don't think you could just knock out. Just like dismiss the fact that they won an online event. No, they still won. Don't belittle that, man. They still earned it. So the fact that just watching it online and just seeing all these characters, and man, it was such a good time, dude. I had a blast. Yeah, they had some commercials here and there. They had some breaks. They had some flashbacks to like other matches, but I would just kind of like alt tab and go do social media stuff while I wait for it to come back. But I had such a good time. I enjoyed it. I missed it. It just sucked that it kind of went on kind of late, but I was such a fan. I missed seeing this. And even like the day before, like Saturday, I was watching pools. Guys. I was just seeing, top 128, top 64, top 32 clearing out. And then, them talking about how, so-and-so beat so-and-so off stream and they cleared this and this and that. And look, as a fan of watching Street Fighter 5 events like this, offline events, part of me says, man, and I know this is selfish because I'm sure it takes a lot of work and a lot of manpower and hours and time and money and resources, to get the matches that we're getting now. But I'm selfish that I wish we could see just about every match on there, because there were some players I totally missed. I want to see what Brian F did. I wanted to see how Young Art did. I want to see how Luffy did. I want to see how Ryan Hart did. I want to see how all these other characters that I didn't get a chance to see. I want to see them all, and I wish I had like a picture-in-picture, to watch them all. So I know I'm being selfish on that part, but and I wish Capcom would say, all right, we got a budget, and we're gonna work in getting all the streams for we're gonna get all the streams, all the major players on all our streams to watch it. We could put on our Capcom channels and everything. I wish they would do that, but again, it takes a lot of manpower and hours and money to do that. So even though I didn't get to watch every match, the ones that I did see, I really enjoyed. It was fun. And again, just going back to top 8, guys, I had man, the way they played. And then okay, look, so just Idom versus Daigo. Weird. Dude, that was just hands down a nail biter. It went down to the wire, and it was just Lara versus Gao, dude. I was just like, and then Idom, he plays on pad. Daigo has switched to hitbox. So I mean, and I think that's where the culture is trying to shift, the meta, maybe not the meta, but maybe the mindset, the zeitgeist of what's going on now. It looks like it's starting to shift, where a lot of people were always had it was like arcade stick and pad were the most dominant controllers. You're starting to see more and more leverless and hitbox. They've always been there, but they're starting. I think people are the buzz is gaining. More and more companies are adopting this layout of the controller, and they're implementing. I know I saw Bitrix had a leverless control, a leverless setup. Of course, you saw a hitbox. I believe Tokido, I could be wrong. I just kind of picked up on it. People were talking about maybe he was using a, I think it's Junk Food Arcade Snack Box Mini. That's another leverless. I know Paradise Arcade has another leverless themselves. So they're out there, guys. And me personally, y'all know me. Can I show you real quick? So for if you guys are just listening, give me a second. But if you guys are watching the video, let me show you my controller I've been working on. Okay. So if you guys are watching the video, this is the one I picked this up a long time ago. Hold on, I got the fuzzy thing going on. So I got this one. I got this back in, I forgot what year it was. A couple years ago. It was at Retropalooza down here in the Gulf Coast, Texas, and somebody was making their own homebrew sticks, and it was a friend of a friend. And you know me, guys. I love Street Fighter. I never had a leverless controller. It was kind of pricey, but you know what? He made his own stuff. I think the quality looks great. The craftsmanship is great. The build is great. And I was like, I'm going to support this guy. And I bought it. And I kind of tried it out one day and I was like, whoa, this is weird. And I kind of just shelved it. And I just kind of left that as like a piece of art. But over the last couple of weeks, maybe the last 2 weeks, I picked it up. I was like, you know what? I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn. And little by little, I've been trying. So, I mean, I could see where some of the advantages are because, especially walk forward, back, walk forward, back, walk forward, back, and then just, down forward, especially like trying to get charge moves and everything, walk back forward. I mean, like you could feel it, or you could get a. Excuse me, guys. I could feel it where I know you guys are like, you just sat on the floor. Well, yes, I did. So I mean, I can see where there's advantages, but again, you guys have probably heard. I say this a lot of times. Y'all probably heard me before. It's a tool. It's a controller. It doesn't automatically make you great. You have to learn it. You have to be. It has to be an extension of your body. You can't. When it comes to fighting games, what you think, and it's a process. You think it. It comes down. Goes to your arms, to your fingertips, to your controller, and then you have to execute it and do it right. If you could get that part down where you don't have to think about it and you just execute it and you could just do it on command when you need to within those couple of frames to execute a couple of frames of a window of opportunity. That's when you could really shine in fighting games. But you have to be there on your execution level, regardless if it's a leverless, regardless if it's an arcade stick, regardless if it's a freaking if it's a control pad. You have to learn. And I think people are I mean, I'm not here to tell you where to spend your money or what to do or not do, but I believe some people are just kind of like, oh, a hitbox, that'll solve all my problems, that'll make me like. No, you still got to be really good with it. It's kind of like you get a fighting game and someone tells you, oh yeah, pick so-and-so, pick Urian, he's top tier. Okay, I'm going to win now, right? Like, well, no, well, you still got to be good with him. You know how to execute. You still got to learn how to execute. You still got to learn when to, do proper combos and execute and know when to be and don't leave damage on the table. So I'm glad that these, and you saw these on at Street Fighter Type 8. You saw them with Kawano. You saw them with Daigo. You saw them with not Gachikun. You saw them with Tokido, and who else had it? Maybe it was just them three. Maybe a couple other characters too. But yeah, leverless is starting to pick up. It's starting to gain some momentum, and a lot of other companies are starting to put their own take on the controller and doing their own. So that's good. I hope with all this going on, it'll help keep prices at a good area, because I'm not gonna lie, guys, mine was pretty expensive. Of course, it's handcrafted and everything, so yeah, it's gonna be expensive. But if you just look at the MSRP just for a regular hitbox brand leverless, it's well over $200. I know I saw some for arcade snack. No, what's the one I just said the name? Junk Food Arcade. Yeah, Junk Food Arcade. I know they're up there also. They're hovering around like $2. So I mean, yeah, it's a piece of equipment, and it's at least the one I'm playing with, it's nice quality build. I'm enjoying it. I have no time. Of course, I don't have put that many hours onto it, but it's using some quality parts, and yeah, so we'll see. I mean, hopefully with a lot more companies in there, it'll keep the prices down, because they get up there on controllers. And I know it's difficult if you're on a budget to pick up a nice fancy controller. If anything, save up or ask around and try them out. We'll see. But that seems to be the trend, guys. But as for, again, going back to top 8, Gachikun, changing when Gachikun was playing against Kawano, and then he had to change. Like he was losing, and then he changed V skill too, but still it wasn't enough. I mean, it was just I don't know, man. You're able to see how these characters. Okay, grand finals, Kawano on winner's side, Idom on loser side, and he was on a tear. He ripped everybody. Everybody he played, he ripped them apart. He just ripped them to shreds with his Lara. It was sick, impressive, and sick and scary at the same time. Because if once he started rolling, it was nuts, man. You saw the damage. Sometimes you look at the red bar that got left over after a KO. You're like, he could do that much damage. So, grand finals, Kawano gets game one, and then Idom just goes on a tear. He wins the next 1, 2, 3, resets it 1, 2, and then Kawano starts slowly catching up, and then it comes down to the final game, the final round, the final match, and then just Kawano just barely gets it. But oh my god, guys, if you are able to watch, if you get to watch just any match, watch that one. I mean, watch all the top 8. It honestly was great. Just like fast forward through the commercials and the ads stuff. That top, if you're a Street Fighter 5 fan, watch it, dude. It was so good. But if you're pressed for time, if you're just gonna watch one match, watch grand finals. It was nuts, man. It was so good. I enjoyed it, and that to me was the fun part. It was good to see that and cheering with the crowd, and that's the thing that I miss about offline is they'll pan out and they'll show you the crowd or show the players getting ready, or when they're losing and they have to think about it, and like they're shaking their hands, drinking their water, and looking over, and all right, what's the next character? Who should I change character? What's the next V skill? Should I change? Like you get to see the player because and you can relate because you could probably you probably been in a situation. I'm not saying you've been in the exact same situation as they are, but you've probably been in a spot where you're playing with your friends or your homies or whatever, and you have to stop. Like, all right, what's next? I gotta take a little quick breather, think about it, take a drink. All right, and then like seeing that the human side of the offline events was great, man, because you can see these are people, they're playing their best, on the biggest stage of of the fighting game community. So I mean that was awesome because again, when it came to offline, you just saw, all right, so and so has entered the chat, so and so has entered the chat, spectating, matches like fast forwards till it catches up, and then okay, cool. I mean, yeah, and commentary, they try their best to make it as hype as possible, but it just doesn't compare to watching it on offline, guys. And again, I guess to end it all for this episode, I just want to say, man, Evo, I was pleasantly surprised. I liked it a lot. Minus my little unpopular opinion I had about it that I talked about earlier. I think I want to go sometime next year. I'm gonna try to be more proactive on getting information and booking a hotel and seeing what's up. I don't mean, even if I don't participate, just to go. I mean, just to see what it is about. I mean, the friends that I talked to who went there, they said they had an absolute blast and enjoyed it. And I think there was something special about this 2022 one, especially coming out of a pandemic, that I think people were just ready to get back out there, and that was just a good thing to see. And not just for this game, but for every game, that these offline tournaments are coming back and opening, and it's becoming the norm, and it should be the norm, because that's the only way we can just get back to where we were, guys, is do the things that we do, the things that we love, and just watching and supporting, and I really had a good time, and I liked it a lot, and I'm just glad the doubts that I had were squashed, because when I heard about Pokimane being in there, I was just like, oh man. But no, it was great. Like everybody, the production team, the announcements, I mean, as a spectator, I thought it was great. I liked it a lot. I have a couple of critiques on it, but there's nothing major. I mean, me being selfish, I wish I would have been able to catch more matches that went off stream, but It is what it is, guys. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. What I want to, I just want to talk about that with Eva, about Eva, what's going on, the announcements, what you guys think. Let me know. I'm glad a lot of these games are getting rollback. Some didn't. Grand Blue, Tekken. I don't know why not. Maybe again with Tekken, maybe they're saving it for the next game that's coming out hopefully soon. And with Grand Blue, that's unfortunate because I thought it was just a really great game. So we'll see. But the other games that are getting stuff, they're still getting support. We saw announcements with DLC roadmaps. So it really is a good time to be a fighting game fan. It really is, guys. So sound off. Let me know what you think. If you agree on some things, disagree on some things, what you thought about top 8. What are some other matches that I should have seen? Let me know in the description below, or let me know on the comments below, or at me, I'm sure you guys can find the link for Twitter, at OS_Rick R1CK. I gotta fix that. I'm thinking about making it R exclamation CK. And look, guys, if I could make it Rick on all of them, I could, but I can't. Like, one is available on one side, one's not available on one other side. So I gotta have to, like, I found one that was like universal and fit all of them. So it is what it is, guys. But yeah, hit me up. Let me know what you think. What y'all thought of the events. What games I should think I should watch. And I think that's about it, guys. Thank you so much. I love you. I appreciate it. I thank you very much for downloading and listening. You guys are the best. I like doing this, but when I get to know that there's someone out there that's also enjoying it and listening, whether you're playing video games, whether you're at work or you're exercising or going out for a jog, or just driving around to work and you're listening to my little show, I want to say thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. I love it, and I'm just glad you guys are having a good time. But anyways, I'm done. Y'all get a good night. Get some rest. Get some sleep. Play some games. Have a good time. And I will see y'all next time. Bye, guys. I love you. Peace out.